So I looked into it and I was like, wow, they have really good packages. And I was starting with Ghana, but then after COVID, I stopped looking. And then after COVID, I started to look again, and I started to pay attention to South Africa because it seemed like the best country to transfer from like the West to Africa. So that's what made me stick with it, and it felt more comforting when I saw the real South Africa, because I saw that they focus on this country. So
Okay.
And the process to say, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and book. Like, what was that like for yourself? Because you did a lot. You did a lot. So tell me how you came up with that plan, because that was a very bold plan.
oh my God.
It's a very bold plan.
I was like, well, I had already told people that I want to go to Africa, and they're like, have you been? And every time I would have to say no, and they would just look at me weird. And when I saw all your different packages, I was like, it doesn't make sense to just go to Joburg, because Joburg was my focus, because I had just been on YouTube constantly looking up South Africa, and Joburg seems like the place where all the black people are at. So I said, that's where it's going to be. But then I'm like, but I should see the other cities too, so then I can be able to say for myself. So when I saw your packages, I was like, well, I need to add this, I need to add that. And then I was like, I don't want South Africa to be the only country I go to. So I'm like, I have to go to Zimbabwe. So yeah, it was kind of...
So basically, in a very short nutshell, she booked our 14-day Johannesburg, Durban, Cape Town package, and then did a 4-day add-on to Zimbabwe.
So she was doing the most.
She has been in South Africa. She's been in Africa for going on 3 weeks now. She's seen the weather change. She's seen the seasons come and go. She's had a really good time. So just, talk me through. You obviously have different experiences in Joburg, Cape Town, Durban, and now Zimbabwe. So just give me like an overall, because you said you experienced a lot. So just without feeling like you're gonna explode, tell me about it.
Okay. So when I got here to Joburg, initially I didn't feel like it was it. It didn't think like Africa, but at the same time I didn't have a clear picture of what Africa was to me. I got to Joburg, it was cold, a lot of buildings, it just felt familiar in a sense, but still unfamiliar. But when I got on my first tour with Lucky to Soweto and Mandela's house, it felt like history, love, family, all in one. And it made me think differently. And the next day when I got to go to like the Mall of Africa and the richest square mile in Africa, I was like, wow, this feels like home. I could get familiar with it. It made, I don't know why seeing the mall helped me, because I'm not a shopper, even though I did shop.
Of course you did.
I'm telling you, my family would tell you that Carisha doesn't shop. So for some reason, seeing those shops, it did something, it clicked. And so the next day it was easier